Welcome back to Business This Week, and of course now we get into our segment that we call People, Power and Politics. And you know how Business This Week does. What we do is we bring you the biggest voices and the biggest news of the week. And Sbusiso Leope, better known as DJ Sbu, is in studio, and we are going to be talking about MOFAYA for one, but we're also going to be talking about all things that pertain to retail and the kind of challenges that black entrepreneurs have. But David and I, for once, are actually not going to be doing the work today. We said to you earlier this week, using the hashtag AskSbu, you can ask any question that you want to DJ Sbu. So we'll sneak in maybe here and there. We got a lot of those. And so we're going to do you justice and make sure that you lead this conversation. But here's one thing I did earlier today, because everybody's talking about this MOFAYA, and I'll admit I'd never seen MOFAYA.
What is MOFAYA?
So it's this little thing over here, okay? Which
looks like Carling Black Label, no?
Oh, I'll tell you.
That's a nice sound. That's a nice sound.
When you open it, it says Tiko. Tiko is also for God-given.
Right.
When you just open it and see if it says Tiko.
We didn't ask him to participate, but he's a star.
Already there.
So he comes in.
So we just have a taste. We'll bring him in when we're ready. Hey?
Let's have a taste of one.
You can have a taste of mine. What do you think? Mia,
well,
let's
I
go
actually need this, to be honest.
So while they were having their Tiko drinks being opened, what I did is I decided that I was going to actually go to Sandton, the richest square mile in Africa, and look and see if any of these retailers were actually stocking MOFAYA. So if Sbu comes back to us and says, you know, black entrepreneurs are being locked out, then we'd know whether it's true or not. So look what I found. I found Killer. Yep. But I didn't find any MOFAYA, and I think this was at one of the garages. And then I went into Pick and Pay, and I went to look for MOFAYA, and I didn't find any MOFAYA. And then I went to an engine garage, and that's me looking through, and I didn't find any MOFAYA. And I think the final one was, I think that was a Checkers, and there was no MOFAYA there.
So what point are we making here?
So the point we're making here, and I think this is important, is to get the nuts and bolts of the story from Sbu. What is MOFAYA? What is behind the brand? How many of these are you churning out on a weekly basis? How big is your market? And where do we find it before we get to the question?
Or have we got the entire stock here in the studio?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to come through and speak about our brand new project. It's called MOFAYA. You know, we believe that badge over there is a badge of honor, because we believe young people of 1976 had a burning desire to achieve whatever they wanted to achieve with just stones and, you know, going up against cops with guns and tear gases and so forth. So for us, we honor them because we're facing a different struggle with it, which is the economic struggle. So this was put together by 8 entrepreneurs, a legal guy, lawyer, a chemical engineer by profession who did the formula, myself who's a marketer and a master's student, and a couple of strategists and other marketers and so forth. So we came together to create this first 100% black owned energy drink in the market, because we saw that all the other energy drinks that are out there, they're all from overseas. So all this money is churned out to international countries, and we look at what they sponsor or where they spend their money on back into these communities. I think they focus on other things, which are extreme sports and so forth. Now, being credible ourselves through our foundation of having done work with schools over the past 8-9 years, we felt instead of us having to ask for scholarships and bursaries from you know, willing donors every year, why don't we have a product that is stylish, that is cool, that is, you know, in line with how people are living, and just get people to just switch from buying their regular drinks to try it out. If they actually think it's nice, they must just continue with it, and then a portion of it goes into its
well, we did ask people which was their favorite energy drink, so we'll get to that a little bit later. But let's get to those questions from social media, in particular from the Twitter sphere. Here's a question that comes from Nogzola Ndwandwe Sbu. Nogzola says, is DJ Sbu considering getting MOFAYA listed on the JSE as one of its growth objectives as per the brand? I think a very good question.
It's a very good question. I think every entrepreneur, when they're starting, they want to build a global business, and that's basically what we're trying to do. But the interesting thing is that we're experiencing a lot of challenges, and because I'm in the public eye, a lot of our challenges are going to be spewed out there into the public, which is a beautiful thing, because it's starts educating younger people about entrepreneurship.
Mia, let's have you taking our second tweet. Let's pull out that tweet so that Mia can read it out and see.
Yes, so what after...
What's next?
Oh, what's next after or for MOFAYA? Africa, the world?
I think we want to make it a global brand because we're a beverages company. So at a later stage, our growth strategy, we want to move into other products. But the challenges that we're facing right now is making it onto major retail. Just like you went on a MOFAYA hunt, you didn't find it anywhere. It's been difficult for us. We sat down with a couple of companies, which I won't mention their names right now, and it's the processes have been very
What's the biggest
difficult.
pushback that you're getting that's not allowing you to access the retail chain?
I think for me, there isn't a biggest pushback. It's some of the processes are longer. They require you to put in a certain amount of money up front, which we don't have. I don't have R1 million in cash right now.
Well, doesn't that come back to the listing that we're talking about, Clive? I mean, companies list to raise capital in order to do things.
You need capital to raise capital, and that's the thing, and I think he's spot on there.
I think she's talking about listing on the shelves, right?
No, so
later we're talking about the JSE.
Yes,
earlier,
yeah. But here you are right. Now we're talking about being visible on the shelves in terms of breaking into that chain.
Because that's basically how we're going to be able to print money with this thing and succeed. But the fact that we are actually being closed out on that front, we're not stopping and just waiting for a good Samaritan. We are in the townships. That's the reason why it's a faster growing energy drink brand. If you go hashtag MOFAYA on any social media platform, you'll see young people, trendy people, superstars, celebrities, politicians, old magogos, mamas.
We had the president, I think, earlier this week with a can of MOFAYA in his hand.
Who's that?
The president.
The state president.
Yeah, because we had to go to the black industrialist in there because we believe we are industrialists. We don't have our own manufacturing plant right now. We've got the formula, which is ours. We painted it and we own. We also have the brand trademarked, and we basically are entrepreneurs that want to eventually own the entire value chain.
Well, let's have a look at the next tweet there that we've been sent by. Been hundreds of them coming in. If I start drinking MOFAYA, will I be exempt from sitting the back seat in taxi?
So at the back seat in the taxi.
I gotta.
And you know what that means? I mean, do you know? Does this make me successful and that kind of thing?
It does have the kick because the interesting thing is somebody tweeted something during the week and said a lady was seen flying after drinking MOFAYA.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So let's get Clive getting us our next question. Let's pull that up and let's see what that comes up as.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
It's got an interesting question.
That's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. I believe I'm wealthy. And the reason I believe I'm wealthy is because of the work that I do. I think I'm an asset to my community based on the track record of the work I've done in assisting other people's lives, building other entrepreneurs or taking kids to school and educating kids. But as far as having $1 million in the pocket, no, I don't have it. But I think when I felt that I'd reached the stage where I was a little bit comfortable in my life is around mid-20s, around 25, 26.
Which is very good. But the challenges of entrepreneurs, the regulations, for example, you not being able to penetrate the market as much as you would want, the volumes. It's the same the thing that small entrepreneurs in the financial industry, in any other sector, find it difficult to enter because the conglomerates are already there, they're controlling the
I just want to ask Mia something, just be honest here. Had you heard of MOFAYA before this conversation?
I actually saw the tweet about the women flying.
So it shows how
and
much
you said, I want to do that.
Why did you think I started drinking this so quickly?
Let's pull up another question. I don't want to get in trouble with our viewers, so let's see if we've got another one. This one says, I want to sell MOFAYA at all corners of South Africa. Who do I order from? I think is the
In other words,
question
I want to be a distributor.
Yes. That's who we have currently who's taking this drink everywhere. We've got 33 distributors nationwide that are taking these drinks out, and we're looking for more. And an interesting thing about our model is that we don't give you stock on consignment. You got to show us your commitment by buying the stock at a good cost price, and then you go out there, but we kept the price. But we give you enough chance to be able to play around, have good margins to make money for yourself. So you can get in touch with us on info@mofayaenergy.com. That's info@mofayaenergy.com.
So I want to go back to the when you became a millionaire, and I'm just being an ordinary consumer now, an ordinary South African. I heard you were a billionaire.
It's an interesting thing when you say that because
it certainly is.
I'm more than a billionaire, you know. I've just explained to you, because of being an asset to my communities out there. And not only the physical people that I've helped, you know, to help change their lives, but the consistent people that get to see my story and they're inspired, and those are millions of South Africans. So you can't put value to that. So that's why I really believe that when I go away from this earth, that's what's going to remain behind. You can't say Mandela was a trillionaire or a billionaire, but the significance of what he left behind, his legacy, that's the reason why
I like that methodology. I like that approach. I'm a gazillionaire. So I am an asset and an asset and an asset.
And whatever you got, you can't take it with you at the end.
Guys, I always never want to leave out the Facebookers from the conversation. So I posted on my Facebook page, I said, we're getting to the bottom of this MOFAYA drama with DJ Sbu on Business this week. What would you like me to ask him? And Sandile Ngwabi says, how many units are you turning in a week?
It's an interesting question. We're at the SABS earlier today, offices in Pretoria. We were just chatting about the brand and just its growth and so forth and other business things. And they were asking us, but guys, just this week alone, forget about how long you've been selling MOFAYA. This week alone, how many drinks have you sold? We sold out.
Wow.
What I want to ask you is, you've got a great outfit for radio this evening. We're at TV as well. When you grow up, you're going to get long pants, obviously. But radio, television, which was the first? Which do you like the most? And I mean, you like being a showman, obviously.
No, sir. I mean, I don't really love being a showman. I'm an entrepreneur, which so happens that I'm actually talented in entertaining people. And I obviously, you know, I have a lot of love for my community where I come from. That's the reason why you'll understand later why I'm dressed like this. It's a Friday.
He's just jealous. But I'll tell you why, Sbu. We've been trying to get him into some sort of Skotane mode. Yeah. We've succeeded with the floral
trimming.
That's with the floral. And he always wants to show them off.
I always want to show them. I won't do it for both, but there we are.
There we go.
I've been working on it. I've been working on it. But let's take another Facebooker and see if we can get a question there. Sananu Kofi Apatu, who actually is a friend of mine in South Korea, says, why is he lying about Forbes? We all know he did it himself. Nosi Pumbandra, be hard on that man. So that's Sananu. That's Sananu being hard on you. How do you respond to him?
People have been harsher towards me. But I think the beautiful thing, Forbes.com overseas really did an article on 3 beverages that are the fastest growing in this continent, in Africa. So we are acknowledged by Forbes.com, which is obviously a parent company to Forbes Africa. When I shared the link and people started reading it, they congratulated me and they started doing all sorts of different images. One of the images was the one, you know, actually was beautifully done. Where people, it's not yet, yeah. People really believed it was a cover coming. And and I do know that you guys here at your Forbes Africa, CNBC Forbes Africa offices, you started getting a whole lot of demand, people waiting for that issue.
Because they thought Sbu was going to be on the cover.
And there wasn't an actual cover. But no, I didn't do the cover, no, I didn't.
Well, we've got another one, Lindani Mbalim Nyandu. She's actually the general manager at Nando's South Africa, and for marketing more specific. So all of those naughty Nando's ads. So Lindani says, that will be interesting in response to the fact that we're having you on the show. She says, I'd like to know what's in it, nutritionals, how does it differ from the other energy products?
Yeah, and I think a backup to that question, sugar has become the new no-no. Is there a lot of sugar in it?
Very good question. Actually, I just want to say, you asked us a very good question. Now, for a lot of people that have been asking us about sugar-free or the healthier version, when is it coming? We definitely are working on it to release it towards the end of the year.
So there is sugar in this one?
But this one, there's definitely sugar. There's sugar in it, there is caffeine in it, there's a disclaimer at the back that it's not recommended for children, it's not recommended for lactating women, for pregnant women, and so forth. So there's disclaimers at the back. But it's just like any other energy drink, we're just a little bit more on the vitamin B6. And it's actually very nicely tasting, doesn't have an aftertaste. It's a bit fruity.
No, absolutely. I'm actually having a lot of fun enjoying my MOFAYA. Yeah, this is definitely going to get my weekend off to a good start.
You should have it when it's cold. I mean, I don't know if you've had fire cold.
Would you be prepared to give it up to a big brand that comes in and says, we like what you're doing, but we want to buy it from you?
We do acknowledge that's going to happen. Let me not say that's going to happen in the future.
SAB, Coca-Cola, that kind of thing.
We're gonna have to have a chat because certain proceeds go towards education. So if the deal that we might do at a later stage, when we have consulted with the partners and we feel maybe it's the right time to let go of a certain stake, we're gonna have to lock them into a deal where they're gonna have to be forced to build a couple of schools in the country to continue with that project, and also to give us what we feel at the time the brand is worth. Brand equity, future sales, and whatever we might be able to agree upon with my business partners. But that's basically where it's headed.
So not a no.
I'm saying that's basically where it's headed because there's no any other way that anyone is going to stop the success of this thing. That's the only way they're going to have to stop it.
So let's take the last one. This is quite a long one. This comes from Bali Dlamini. Bali is in Durban. She says, besides making money, what inspired MOFAYA? Who is his target consumer, and how is the product better than a Red Bull? How will this initiative bring back to the people of South Africa? Is the Forbes saga a way of getting more publicity for his product, as he's been doing so at the awards, on radio, etc., etc.? Loaded question. I think we've answered some of it, but let's take on some of those elements that haven't been spoken about.
I think a beautiful thing is just the Red Bull story, how it started from Austria. That is extremely an inspiring story. And the fact that they don't own their own plants, but they own the IP, the formula, and the brand, and now they've been able to grow it worldwide. That's such an inspirational story for young businesses like ourselves. Red Bull inspires us, Coca-Cola inspires us, and that's the reason why we have to take it to international level, our drink. How it differs from other products is that it's ours, it's our own, and it's going to contribute towards education. It inspires entrepreneurs. I've just told you we've got 33 entrepreneurs that are responsible for getting this drink out there in the different townships right now, and I've just given an information on how other potential young entrepreneurs can make money out of this drink. So it's our own. It's a drink that's got endless opportunities for everyone. Marketing companies have been contacting us, wanting to do some work with us, activation companies, PR companies. So there's an opportunity. It's ours. It's not mine. It's all ours. Yeah.
And of course, at CNBC Africa, we did also do a little bit of more research. We went out and we asked people what their favorite energy drink is, and we actually got some responses. Here's some of them. So Saki says #MoFaYa. I think Saki just knew that Sbu was going to be here. And then M Sugar says Lucozade Boost. I think those orange ones. I think I've seen those.
This is
like
now
medicine.
Rico's water.
This is very imaginative. Yes.
And I think we might just have those are the final ones.
But let me ask you, you did mention why you were dressed like that. I'm not saying you shouldn't dress like this. You can do what you like. But you did say you were going to explain why.
In South Africa, it's our culture that you can, on a Friday, you can loosen up a little bit. How you loosen up, that's totally up to you. You can wear sportswear. You can take off his tie. You can wear just like yourself. You're not wearing a tie, you're not wearing a suit, but you're still semi-casual, which you are allowed to. If I have to just let you know, probably don't know, I have been acknowledged by GQ as the best dressed man in the country. So I do know a thing or two about fashion.
Now, before we wrap, I promised David that I was going to get you to teach him how to say hoi hoi. And also maybe just explain to him what it means.
Yes.
And then I know Clive doesn't know how to say hoi hoi either. What? And so maybe we can have a Sbu leading it. And let's see if you guys can,
Okay.
There's a way in which you say it, right? You don't just say hoi hoi or hoi hoi.
Hoi hoi.
Hoi hoi.
Oi, oi.
Let's see, Clive, what you...
Oi, oi.
Mia?
Yeah, that's close.
Oi, oi.
Mia?
Oi hoi.
Okay, all together. Oi, oi. Not bad, eh?
Not bad at all.
Maybe there's a job for us.
Maybe there's a job for me here on this platform. You never know.
Oh, what a fantastic conversation. We've got one more tweet that's coming through. Producer saying, Nosy, take the tweet. It says, at CNBC Africa, at DJ Sbu, at The Real Nosy, what's next on the entrepreneurial table for you, DJ Sbu? Now everybody is on the watch and they want to know from here on where to.
I'm learning a lot of things regarding the processes at the SABS, how they approve products and how do they get you eligible for the market. And I'm working on my own toilet paper brand, which is called Ndofo, which means soft. I'm working on my own bread. Ndofo. Yes. In the tambile, in the soft.
Not newspaper.
No. We're working on a double fly.
Double fly.
Yeah. And then I've got my own trademark brand called Nzo. Nzona is a slang, is a township slang in South Africa and black communities for bread. So I'm currently busy with the SABS processes and negotiating with different bakeries and so forth. But it'll be easier as soon as this succeeds and it makes it onto all the shelves, that all my other products can then follow suit.
So it's MOFAYA, it's Nzo, it's Ntofo. That's all that Sbusiso Leope is bringing to the market, and maybe much, much more. We even spoke about a possible listing, a possible buyout from one of the big giants, Coca-Cola or anybody else who's looking. One thing is clear, that this is the time for black entrepreneurs, and Sbusiso Leope is certainly living up to that.
It sounds like he could be a black industrialist, because that's the new phrase that's on the conversation this week. Well, Sbusiso Leope, and that's DJ Sbu, and Clive Ramatibela-Smith is going to, they're both going to leave us now. Thanks for joining us, guys. After this, we're going to bring you, we had quite a lot of social media already, but we're going to have more analysis of the social media space right after this. Don't go away.